The game I'm about to show you today is actually very special because my opponent and I did post-game analysis and actually recorded the comments, which means that I don't have to remember what I was thinking during the game or make guesses. I can actually look at my own comments. And this is helpful because I can compare what I think now about the game to what I was thinking then, and also see my opponent's thoughts and see some of the reasons they played the moves that were a little bit more difficult to understand. This game was pretty interesting from the opening itself. I didn't really know much about the opening back then, so I just played what I had already seen before. It's basically the equivalent of pre-moving, because I didn't really have any options, I just kind of played the same thing every time. On the other hand, my opponent did exactly the opposite. They did a bunch of slightly unusual things. They developed their Kirin to the side, they developed their Phoenix to the square where the Kirin normally goes, and they used an elephant to defend 5-4. Their Phoenix got kicked back after we traded go-betweens. And in the post-game analysis, my opponent did not like this particular bishop move. They said that it blocks the ferocious leopard. I think it's fine. It's a good X-ray on the line. And it's always important with X-rays that the piece that you're X-raying through is a piece that's likely to move very soon. In this case, it's very likely that we trade pawns, and I actually can't push here. Well, I can't because the Phoenix defends. I don't have any other pieces here. But I also can't push. Imagine the Phoenix wasn't there. I also can't push because I lose a pawn. Theoretically, if the Phoenix wasn't there, then I could capture with the lion, but you get the idea. In addition, if you decide to play this bishop move, there's a very simple solution if you also want to develop the leopard. You can move the reverse chariot up and the bishop back. This is something I had just thought of, and I played it a few games before this one against Olekaze, who was one of the spectators of this game, actually. And here, because I didn't move a ranging piece onto this file early, besides the queen, which is too powerful to move into the center early, my opponent got control over the file. And this is the start of the ridiculous phase of the game, where both players are just stacking up ranging pieces, as many as possible. I don't know why I played this move. Well, I do. The reason was that I was worried about this square. It was already defended, and the horse was also partially defending it, but I was worried about it and I had to block this diagonal. Instead, I think I definitely should have played this move, just to try to trade off some of the ranging pieces before the tension on this file got too extreme. And now I have no control over the file. I can't trade ranging pieces, the elephant is in the way. And the stacking continues. See, it's very simple to defend the square. All you have to do is move the phoenix back. Could have moved the phoenix maybe... I think this is good, because then you can play this. It was also an option to do this, but then it's not ideal. Okay. And this is a move that I think was quite strong. And it was important later in the game. Because, again, the piece that I'm X-raying through is a piece that is extremely likely to move in the next few moves, and is also able to move. And for this reason, my opponent had to move the line back. There's no other choice. And I redeveloped the Phoenix. When I played this move, I was considering that at some point in the future, I would be able to sacrifice all my pieces on 4-4, 4-5, sorry, for some sort of advantage. And there was almost an opportunity to do that later in the game. I shouldn't be giving spoilers like that. Defending the elephant. This, I don't think... This is not the most critical move in the position. I should be doing other things. I think moving this gold up would have been fairly strong. Maybe? I'm not sure. Other moves I can play... This copper general is pretty useless right now. On the other hand, it can't really move. And I actually did develop it upwards later in the game, but it just stayed there until it got captured. So I guess this silver move is fine. I'm not sure what else I would have done. And again, the discovery is a problem. And just by opening this line, the line goes back. They could have actually oh, sorry. They could have actually captured. I'm still not fully sure why they didn't do that. Maybe this is a problem, but then you just take. So I'm not sure about that. In addition, you're attacking the Phoenix, so this would have been an option. I'm surprised I didn't ask them about this move during the post-game analysis, but I didn't. And again, it always looks like it might be possible to sacrifice everything on 4-5, but in this position, it's definitely not. And even a little later, there's still no option. But this is where it gets a little dangerous. I played this move, which is just bad. It gives my opponent an option to play this. But Gote did not play that. And DoubleD91 gave a line. Like so, after this move is played, you can sacrifice. Sacrifice everything. The lion takes the Kirin, because the lion's attacked. This discovery is becoming useful again. And then at the end, I'm losing a lot of material. And ignore this move, this was just given as an example. It doesn't matter, really, the lion can go anywhere. This does hang a lion, but it was just an example. Then after this, the queen can't recapture. Or I suppose the queen can recapture. And then, that's something I was thinking about after the game as well. Is this position really better for me? You can trade out things a little bit. If we clear out the position a little bit. As for orthogonal ranging pieces, it's queen against rook. But I suppose the material is fairly equal, but my opponent has an extra Kirin and Phoenix. Those are both pieces that have very powerful promotions. So this, if we reach this position, I'm not sure how the game would have gone. I think it is still in my favor, especially look at this control over the center. It's very good. Still, it's interesting. But if the blind tiger captures, if we go back, blind tiger captures, soaring eagle check, king moves. I still don't know about this. Sure, you got a promotion, but I don't know if it's still worth the material loss. Because this piece will have to go back anyway. It is a queen with Igui power on the diagonals, but I don't know if it's still enough compensation. But that particular line was the reason my opponent didn't try to fork these pieces. And because they didn't play it one move, I just left them there. That's a pretty bad way of playing. Just because your opponent didn't play it one move doesn't mean that you should just leave the opportunity open. Maybe something will change in the position that makes it possible and then you won't notice. Still, that's how I played. Then, just as my opponent was about to fork the pieces again with a copper general, I noticed, and then I played the only retreating move that doesn't work. This Kirin move. If you move the phoenix back like this, I didn't want to because the phoenix was attacking this square. If you move the Kirin back like this, it's all fine. But I moved it back like this, and then it's just so simple. You attack the phoenix. Phoenix goes back. Boom. Fork the Kirin and the rook. It's that simple. And I didn't notice. So here I'm just losing even more material. It's terrible. But it's not such a huge loss. I mean, Kirin for Copper General is pretty bad, but it's not the end of the world. And here I played a pretty nice move that I'm quite proud of, actually. This block. This is a pretty good block. It also adds another attacker to the square that was already attacked. So this is doubly good. It also blocks the attack. That was the main point of it. And not only does it block the attack while attacking this square, it also attacks the rook. So this was definitely one of my best moves this game. It's a very simple block, but it works so perfectly, and my opponent didn't see it. It's not such an impressive move to find, but it did a good job in the game. So it's a good move. And going with the theme of X-Ray, here's another one. Me trying to win an exchange. And I'm just going to quote my opponent's comment for this move, the move they played. They captured the phoenix and sacrificed a rook. Their comment is, I wanted to alleviate the pressure. I was scared that at the end the phoenix could promote or win material, so I thought I could eliminate it. And then maybe give the horse for bishop, give the exchange, but with a pawn very close to promotion, by which they mean this pawn, and some open lines for my bishop, that is, this bishop. And that's totally fair. But, sorry. I thought that because ranging pieces are so important on this file, it was a bad decision. My opponent was already a little outnumbered. Still, that's what was played. And they have an advantage in defensive generals. So they did the calculation, and Gote is in no serious trouble after making this exchange. It just feels a little weakening. But I totally understand their reasoning. And here, all the way back, the second this move was played, I have a very good move in the position. I only played it some 5 moves later, but see if you can spot it. This is a pause the video moment. Right, so it's this rook lift, which wins an exchange. That's the maybe give horse for bishop in my opponent's comment, except this time it was unintentional. So I could have played it this early. Instead, I got distracted a little bit, played quite a few moves more, and played it now. That's more than 5 moves later, I have to say. But the important part of this is that after the lion has moved 1 square to the left, it can no longer retreat back here. So the lion is fully kicked out of play. And this is very important for later in the game. Now my lion is right next to all of Gothe's pieces, and Gothe's lion is unable to defend. I think maybe in this position they should have played this and done the best they could to keep the situation together. But at this point, it really wasn't so good. Here I just lost a rook for no reason. I have no explanation for that. And this is the setup you have to watch. Because a few moves later, I'm just going to gloss over them, just developing generals. I was going for an attack, and here my opponent just got stressed. It was maybe 1, 2 a.m. where they live. And they just fell asleep on the board and blundered. Now, not only is this tiger attacked, the rook is attacked by the VM. It's all pretty bad. Sorry. They attacked my lion with their queen. I moved back. I took the rook, promoting. And then I just kind of toned it down. I was like, at this point, I've fully broken through. Their camp is very weak. They blundered. It was very sad, but now I'm winning, so I just thought I'm not going to take any risks, and I'm going to play it a little bit more carefully from now on. I sacrificed a rook for a VM, just to clear out things a little bit. Attack their lion. Continued developing. And here you can notice the X-raying of the ranging pieces. Believe it or not, in a few moves, all of these pieces will clear, and it'll actually be this horse that delivers checkmate. Okay, now I'm fully in. The lion's defended by the horse. And this is a very good move as well. I think you can do that. But then, Igui to here. There's just no point if you're already losing to play moves like that. They don't accomplish a whole lot. They lost a queen. We traded dragons. I promoted again. And then I just sacrificed the dragon because, like I said, all these pieces have cleared. This horse is very strong. It cuts off the king. The queen also cuts off the king, just like I showed a few moves earlier. And with just a blind tiger defending a lion is plenty to checkmate here. I think you can checkmate with the lion. Like, that's mate, right? No? Yeah, it says it's not mate. That is, though. Yeah, you can checkmate with the lion in 2 moves. What actually happened is I pushed this pawn, giving check. They blocked with the leopard. And then I just took, because I was going for the same 2-move line checkmate. This move wasn't necessary, but it's only 1 move extra and I still won the game, so it was okay. And that was that. That, I think, was my first game against this opponent. Or maybe the 3rd. Yeah, it was the 3rd game. I showed it first because even though it ended with a blunder that just completely turned the tables, up to that point, it was very tense and it was very, very close to equal. And a lot of interesting things happened. There was a lot to go through here. So yeah, thanks for watching.